Welcome back to Scouting Movies. We're going to be talking about a movie today that really has the melodrama, it has the tear jerkers, it has Broadway ballads, emotional roller coaster, uh, just about everything in it to make you question whether your tears are real or just professionally engineered. Um, the movie we're talking about today is called Beaches, um, and it lays it on thick. Uh, and we'll talk about whether that works or not. But let's first talk about what it is. What is the movie about? At its core, it's the story of two women who meet as kids under a boardwalk in Atlantic City. Cece Bloom, played by Bette Midler, is loud, brash, and dying to be famous. Hillary Whitney, played by Barbara Hershey, is quiet, wealthy, and drawn to Cece's wild energy. What follows is decades of letters, fights, reunions, mischances, emotional reckonings, and some very big, very sad moments. Think Terms of Endearment meets Steel Magnolias with a couple of show tunes thrown in. So let's talk about it for a second. First of all, the theme. Um, what sets Beaches apart from your average melodrama is that it's not just about one tragic event. It's about the entire arc of a friendship. The small things, the letters that are written in frustration, the awkward apologies after explosive fights, phone calls at 2 a.m. just because you needed someone to talk to. Uh, it's the glue that holds this movie together, this friendship. Not the plot and not the twist and not the melodrama at the end. Just the messy, elastic, stubborn bond between two women who somehow keep choosing each other, even though they're completely different from each other. And they live on entire different parts, different ends of the country. One lives in Atlantic City area, New York City, so somewhere around there. The other one lives in San Francisco, at least as little kids, and then they meet up together later on. So let's talk about the performances of these two women. Bette Midler plays Cece Bloom, and she's a lot in this movie. She plays her like a one woman circus act. She's funny, she's dramatic, she's insecure, she's occasionally infuriating. Wow, I can't speak. She's also fiercely loyal to her friend, though. Bette Midler doesn't try to make Cece lovable necessarily. She just makes her real, which means that there are some moments where you don't really like her. She's kind of mean. She's kind of selfish. She's really um, into her own self, sometimes at the expense of her friend. Uh, she is dying to be famous and will do anything and hurt anyone sometimes to get that. Uh, when Cece finally drops the performance and lets her guard down near the end, the emotional payoff hits like a freight train. The performance is not always pretty, but it's honest. Barbara Hershey as Hillary Whitney plays that performance is kind of the yin to Bette Midler's yang. It's restrained, it's elegant, it's full of quiet strength. She doesn't need a big monologue to leave a mark. She just is. You believe in her pain, her choices, her quiet dignity, the way that she balances out Cece's chaos. Um, she's a lot easier to like in this film because she's such a lovable character, a likable character. You really root for her. Um, their friendship only works because they're so different. And Barbara Hershey makes you feel every beat of that contrast. This dynamic between these two characters. What's refreshing, is that it's not painted in this sentimentality. These women fight. They get jealous of each other. They hurt each other. They say really hurtful things at times. And yet they somehow keep coming back to each other. They stay. They show up again and again and again. It's the soul of Beaches. It's not the big sad ending that I'm not going to necessarily spoil, although you could guess some things. It's the slow evolving truth that real friendship is work, beautiful, maddening work. It takes over a lifetime of these situations. So let's talk about that final act there. Let's not pretend that Beaches is not trying to aim straight at your tear ducts at that third act, because it is. There's an illness at the end of one of these characters, and that subplot kicks in with flashing neon signs and a swelling score that screams, "Hey, start crying now." To be fair, it kind of works, but it's also where the movie tips a little too far into Hallmark territory. Every thread is tied, every beat is hit, every moment is engineered to leave you sobbing into your popcorn. It's effective, sure, but part of me wished that it would have trusted us as the audience a little bit more. Sometimes those quiet moments are much more. They say a whole lot more than every monologue in the world, and we've seen that happen. Um, and the movie kind of overstays its welcome a little bit near the end. It has about seven endings, trying to tie up every single loose end when it really could have ended after the first or second ending there and been just fine and would have spoken a whole lot more than than the actual words do in the film. The music is excellent. Obviously, Bette Midler is a singer by trade, first and foremost. And the score, the music, the songs are a little heavy handed sometimes. But Wind Beneath My Wings is the song that became a hit after this movie was released. It isn't just a soundtrack, it's the emotional keystone of the entire film. It's kind of cheesy, but it's earnest and it's iconic. And let's be honest, I mean, try hearing it without getting a little choked up. It's tied so tightly to the film's climax that it basically is the climax. The Oscars snubbed it for some reason, but audiences didn't. They, like I said, it became a huge hit. The song did, and you've probably heard it, "The Wind Beneath My Wings," and that says a whole lot more. That the audiences responded to this song. That meant a whole lot to them. Um, and so let's get to the final analysis here. Beaches isn't a perfect movie. It's pretty heavy handed at times. It leans so far into melodrama that it might as well be wearing a name tag that says, "Hi, I'm here to emotionally manipulate you." But the emotions that it taps into, they are real. The friendship it portrays, it's flawed, it's raw, it's beautiful, it's real. You don't walk away from this movie with clever one liners or dazzling plot twists. You walk away remembering what it felt like to be seen by someone, to keep choosing that person, even when life tries to pull you apart. So the grade that I'm going to give this movie is a B minus. It's sometimes messy, it's occasionally over the top, but deeply felt. In a world of disposable feel good movies, that kind of sincerity still matters. And so there's a lot of good things in this movie, too. And the overall theme is a really good one. But I am giving it a B minus. So tell me, have you seen Beaches? Do you agree with me? What kind of movies like this broke you in the best way? Was it Beaches, The Notebook, My Girl? Um, I mean, drop it in the comments. Let me know. Let's cry together like stable adults. Thanks for watching. Remember, friendship isn't always perfect, but if someone lets you be your messy, overdramatic self and still sticks around, that's a true friend. Hold on to them. Thanks, everyone. Hit the notification bell, subscribe, like, comment, all that jazz, and I'll see you next time. Thanks.